Yes, it's the academy launch night for next season, so some of the players that have moved up from the under-16s and some of the players who've sort of already been here and they're going into their second, maybe third year, so it's just an opportunity to get them in, tell them a little bit about what they can expect when they come into pre-season, what they can expect from the club in terms of all the support they're going to get in the background to help them develop on their rugby journey.
And you've had Ian Blease, Rob Oates and Jamie Jones-Buchanan all speaking tonight. It's really good, isn't it, that the club all get behind events like this?
Yeah, they do. And then not just those three, just the whole setup at the club, the media, the ticketing, commercial. It's fully behind what's happening with the academy. And since the academy's kind of come more into the club from the foundation, it's just enabled everything to sort of work a little bit smoother, I guess, from a staffing point of view. Like myself now, obviously Lois, when she's back in and around, part of our role is to oversee the academy, make sure that the players who come through and transition into the women's team, it's not a bit of a daunting task for them. They're ready to go because they've had the same support as the women have.
Talking about those origins, you were here when this all started, when you started the academy, and the vision back then was to provide a pathway for young players playing in this city to play Super League. How proud are you of how that journey has gone over the last 6 years?
Really proud. I think when we first sort of got tasked with setting up the women's team, we said from the off that if we were going to do it, there needed to be an academy underneath it because we couldn't just rely on pulling players in from elsewhere that were already sort of open age players. We said we need a pathway that year in, year out people come through, and I think when you look at like the heritage numbers we gave out at the Women's Awards on Saturday night, I think there was another 8 players that night that got their heritage certificates that have come through the academy system, and I think they put a slide up tonight that said that I think 40-45% of the women's squad this year has come through the academy, so it's massive. And when you look at some of the talent that's turned up tonight to this academy launch, that'll just keep happening, and hopefully 40% becomes 100%.
I mean, I remember being brought up from the 16s into the 19s, and I remember being sat there and I never thought I'd be in a position like that, never mind to be in the first team playing like I am now. And it was nerve-wracking, and I remember it was a big jump at the time, but I was excited, and when I got into the academy, it kind of became real that I could play for the first team, and that's all I really thought about. I think the environment's so different to your community club. You've got your physios, you've got your S&Cs that you can go to, we have the nutritionist, and it is such a big step up, like commitment-wise, training, but I do think I'm the player I am today because of the academy and the differences I had to take in my training and my process, like through my playing ability.
For all these young girls sat here tonight, what advice would you give them for what they need to be doing in the academy to hopefully make that step up themselves?
I'd say just be confident in your ability and put the effort in. Like, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't train hard and put my all into my physio and my S&C and my gym, and it's just that you get out what you put in.
You've had a little bit of a different journey. You got in, you had an injury, but then you had a brilliant first season. Is it as you'd expected coming into the first team environment, and what have you learned in that last year?
I think I've learnt the importance of being around your teammates and the confidence they give you. I think if I was in a position where I didn't trust my teammates, I think I would have found my injury journey a lot more difficult, but I trusted my teammates and they supported me, and coming back from an injury, it just made it so much easier. And I think I came up with Caitlin, Casey and Maisie, and I think it just allowed me to fully throw myself into the team and not worry about making a proper impression like I normally would. And like Ebony and the Rubies came up this year, and they fit right in because the playing style, they just gel together and are able to fit themselves into a new squad. I think we are really gelling as a team, especially because we're all similar ages now, and I think the youth is really talented and they're kind of showing us the way now.
We probably dipped into the academy a little bit sooner than we planned last year with the injuries and various things going on. But when sort of Ruby and Ebony came up towards the back end of the season, they slotted straight in and they didn't look out of place, regards their age or their ability. They stood out, and talking to the academy staff that obviously spend a lot more time, week in, week out with these, like they've just said there's more of that to come next year. So it's really exciting that obviously we've already got a really good squad in the women's team for 2025. But knowing that there's a few of these going to be knocking on the door as well is it's really positive for next year.
I think it's massive for the women's game that we have that academy solidified and coming through, and it's just getting bigger and better each year. I just think it's a big honour. Obviously it's the first step on that Leeds pathway, and that means a lot to me personally as a Leeds fan, but also just for the girls' game it is huge to have them stepping stones for people younger than me to be able to aspire to get on. So I started playing when I was 5 at Greatland All-Rounders, and then progressed through the boys before I had to go to a girls' team, and my dad set that up at Greatland, so I was lucky enough to stay there. In terms of Leeds, I used to go to all their camps every single holidays. It was the best time in the holidays, and I think that really helped me progress as a player and as a person, because you're getting that high level coaching at such a young age, and it also allows that club to see you a bit more and get your foot in that door before you even can get onto the academies. So like Caitlin Beavers would be there, and Keara Bennett, not very prevalent, you wouldn't know them at the time, but they were in the academy and you could look up to them and see that's where your next step was. So then to see them go into the first team, further progress, helps you look up to where you could be.
Leeds last year and always have brought through their academy players, and last year particularly there was lots. How encouraging is that for someone in the academy to see that Leeds will promote and use their young players?
Yeah, it is amazing, especially with Ebony and both the Rubies being in the year above me. I was lucky enough to play with them last year in the 16s, so to see them go first team and get a few games in is really good, because again it sees where you can go and it only brings hope for everyone else in the academy.
What does being part of the academy do to enhance what you've got at your club level as well?
Oh, it's absolutely huge, because you can take a different coaching perspective and bring that into your own team and help them through. That, I suppose that's kind of what helped my community club this year, with a lot of us being on different academies. It brought a lot of different perspectives and helped us go all the way.